Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad's. So first, I want to thank you for all the support recently. We've added over 2,500 subscribers in the last month and 200,000 views on our first Disney cabin video. So along with that, we've had a ton of questions. And I've been trying to answer what I can, but there's a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take you inside. We're going to sit down. We're going to do a little Q&A. I'm going to go through your comments and answer as many as I can, and try and get you guys all the information that you're looking for, as well as I'd like to give you a little bit of just a brief overview of the actual timeline of what we did, who we did it with, and then give you a little hint of what we're planning to do going forward. So let's go on inside and sit down and we'll talk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared with D.A.D.S. Welcome to the D.A.D.S Den.
All right, so obviously we bought a Disney cabin, and a lot of you had a lot of questions. I tried to answer some when I did the walkthrough, but obviously you have a lot more. A big question we were getting is why. And for us, this was a big thing for the family. With the way that my mother always loved Disney, and we used to go every other year for 10 or 12 years. And we went as a family. It was my mother, my father, me, my sister, and normally, one or two other people from the family, either a cousin, a boyfriend or girlfriend, somebody would come with us. And it was always it was a fun time. It was just, we spent the time together. There was no stress. It was just something we always got to do. And we never got to stay at the cabins particularly. And then both of my parents ended up getting cancer. My oldest daughter was born all around the same time that everybody was diagnosed. So a lot of those trips kind of stopped. And my mother decided that she wanted to do one more trip. She had beat her cancer, and my father they were estimating like 6 to 12 months left to live. So we did a family trip. We were supposed to all meet there. We got down, and then we got a call. We got down on a Sunday night. We got a call on Monday that there was an issue going on with my father, and he was supposed to be meeting us down at the park, and we immediately had to turn around because it went from he was going to meet us down from New York in Florida to all of a sudden he was refusing treatment, which caught us I was with him Friday before we drove. We were driving through to help my sister move in between semesters of school. Sorry, long-winded, but basically we never got to have that last family hurrah trip. And Mom had all three generations. She brought my in-laws down. She was doing the whole thing. So we rushed back up, and sadly, about 2 days after my father passed. And so we never really got that last family hurrah that my mother really wanted. And, fast forward a year. So that was 2019. 2020, we ended up, dealing with COVID. I was cleared to work remotely, and we actually moved from Florida to New York. And then my mother followed shortly after. So basically, Disney was always a big part of our family. And once everybody was down here together, my mother moved, we moved. We all moved in together. We bought a small family compound on an acre so that we could all be close because my mother's health wasn't perfect at the time. And my wife found an article about the selling Disney cabins, and she sent it to my mother and I as a joke. My mother did not take it as a joke. She took it as a challenge. And that turned from, oh my God, isn't this crazy, to my mother turning to me and said, I want it. I need you to find it for me. And I was going, you want me to, are you serious? She's like, yeah. So I started trying to call around, and I I made a call over to actually Florida Manufactured Home Sales, and I left a message that we were interested in seeing if they had any Disney cabins left. And this was, I believe, early August of 24. And I didn't hear back for a couple of weeks. So in the interim, we were looking around. We almost got scammed on one on Facebook Marketplace. And then I got a text back August 23rd. Set up a call for August 24th. I spoke with John Santerfight. I hope I'm saying your name right. And he was fantastic. He explained to me that he had sold his last 10. They could only fit 7, so there was 3 left. And he said, "Do you want one?" So I said, "Oh yeah, we'd love to come look at one." He said, "I'm sorry. I need to know you're gonna if you want it, you have to tell me you're gonna buy it. Otherwise, I can't hold them." So I talked to my mother. I said, "Give me an hour." I called him back an hour later. She wanted it. And he said, "Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll see you on," this was a Friday, "I'll see you Monday." So we drove out, and he told me, he said, "Thank goodness you called me back, because an hour after we got off the phone, somebody called asking for all 3. And luckily, he said, "You gave me your word. I'm a man of my word. I held it, so I only sold the other 2, but this one's yours." So we now have cabin 2411. I think I actually have some footage of us going to the yard to pick some up. I'm going to take a look and see if I can show you, but that's why I say we bought it sight unseen, because we had to give our word. We had to clear up funds, well, Mom did. This is like her baby. This is her passion project. I'm trying to help out as much as I can with the labor and everything that I can do on my own. I will be doing on my own, but yes. So John at Florida Manufactured Home Sales, he is and was fantastic. He was very honest with us. He was very straightforward, and he was very responsive. He was great. We had a problem with the dishwasher. He rectified it without an issue. No complaints, no back and forth. He was just great. And then his partner, James Robinson, actually was the gentleman that was helping us bring it down the driveway the next day. And again, he was fantastic. So that is the story of how we got to this. So this for us is a huge family thing. And yeah, but that's why. So let me get into the Q&A now of all the other questions you had. All right, so really want to get into your questions now. First thing I want to say is, I think while I was speaking before, I might have said that I moved from Florida to New York. I meant I moved from New York to Florida. I was trying to kind of get through all that in one take, so I apologize for misspeaking there if I did. But let's get into it. So, biggest question, how much did you pay? So the actual cabin itself was about $59,000, and then because of the way we had to have it delivered, it was another $1,000. So normally they were doing free, relatively local delivery within, I think it was like an hour and a half. So the cabin started off obviously in Disney in Orlando, went to MIMS to the yard for Florida Manufactured Home Sales, and then from MIMS it was moved to us, and we're in the Daytona Beach area. So because of the way our driveway is set, they dropped it in the front of the property the night before, came out the next day, and they spent, like we showed, about 6 or 7 hours moving it down the driveway into position. So I think the $1,000 was very fair for trying to get it done in one day and being able to get it done so that we could start working on it. You also asked what the size was, what the rough square footage. So it's somewhere between 450 and 500 square feet. It's approximately 12 feet wide by 42 feet long. I haven't measured out exactly the square footage, but rough calculations, it's somewhere in there. So figure 475 square feet if we're going to take an average. And how we're planning on preserving it. So obviously from what you've seen, it does need a lot of work, especially on the outside. The inside, some more so stuff that you can't see, but that'll come. So preservation wise, we want to keep the aesthetic. We want it to look exactly the same. We spent a little bit more with the locksmith trying to make sure we could keep the Mickey key card. I did have some suggestions of seeing if there was a way to reprogram it so we could make our own key cards, which I love the idea of, and I do want to look into. I just have no idea how to go about that yet. So that is something I'm going to be looking for. But we really want to keep the aesthetic of how it came to us, like the original aesthetic. And when I say original, I mean how it came to us in 2024. I understand that some people stayed in these years ago, and there was a little bit of a different layout. There was no sofa bed. There was a Murphy bed behind me where this bigger TV is now, and the TV was on a different wall. But we never got to see it that way. This is how we received it, and this is how we want to keep it. So we're going to try and keep all the plaques, basically everything as it came. I want to try and keep it looking pretty much the same, and that was my mother's request as well. So we're going to be doing that for her. And then what about the missing art? So from what we were told, there were 3 pieces of art that were removed and that Disney auctioned off, and they auctioned them off, like, I believe $1,500 and up was where those auctions went for. And, Disney loves to make their money, and that's them. But I got some great suggestions on how to remedy that. People were saying to, maybe find some high-res video online and print out some copies, or, maybe take pictures at a park, or your suggestions were great. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do yet. My mother does have a collection of some Disney art. She's always been very big into the art. By coincidence, there is actually a vintage Disney store at a local flea market about 15 minutes from where we live that I really like to do a video of taking you guys to look at, and we'll go through and see if we can find some good fits there. If not, if you guys know anybody, because we're going to be looking Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, everything. We're going to try and see what fits best. But if you know anywhere good to get some vintage art, or art that you think would be a good fit for the cabin, or even a smaller artist who does Disney style art, I would love that. I'd much rather shop with an artist, like a small artist, than go straight to the corporation. So please let me know down in the comments below. That would be fantastic, because we're really just not sure on the art yet how we want to handle that part. All right, so another big question was, what are our future plans? Are we planning to, a lot of you said it would make a good Airbnb, it would make a good rental. Is anybody planning on living in it, permanently, semi-permanently? And really for us, like I said, this is a family passion project. This was something that was on my mom's bucket list, but she didn't know it was on her bucket list until it came up, and then it was a bucket list item. So this is for the family. We have it in the back of the property. It's going to be for our other family to stay in. My older daughter and I and my wife, and we'll come out here and just kind of have a camp out, a sleepover in the cabin, and the kids enjoy it. So it's already a great blessing. And the other thing is, we're in Florida, so hurricane season, we do have the potential to lose power. This is off grid for the most part. It's about 80% off grid with the solar panel setup, which I briefly touched on in the second video. And I am looking to do a more in-depth video to explain some of that going forward, because we do have to make some adjustments. But this has the capabilities of being fully off grid. So if we do lose power at the main house and it's going to be out for a little bit, it's easier for us to come out here because there's the solar, and we have a generator that can fully power this, and we can stay out here. So there's the other kind of blanket insurance policy for us with the house. So no, we're not going to look to Airbnb it. Yes, that is a fantastic idea, but I have too small of a property to have strangers coming in and out with my kids around. So it's just for us. It's for fun. And yeah, I actually have family coming in the next week and a half, 2 weeks to stay here. So everybody's really excited. Reno plans. We are planning to do quite a bit as the budgets allow. So we're trying to just kind of time this as it's comfortable for us to do. The 3 main things that we need to do right now are, it needs work on the roof. We haven't decided if we're going to do a second layer or replace the roof fully yet. All the siding needs to be done. There's quite a bit of rot because the cabin is 20 plus years old. And from what I understand and am told, 90% of the siding is original. So that all has to get pulled down. I have to check everything, rewrap the house, and then put siding back up. Like I said, we're going to stick with log cabin siding and then try and stain it the same color. And it needs a deck, because how are you going to sit out on the porch of your Disney cabin without a deck? So I've already had friends asking, can I help you build the deck? And I'm extremely excited. I've never built a deck. What better than a dumbass to build a deck then? So yeah, those are the upcoming projects. There's some little things that we're going to fix here and there, and anything that I do, I'll try and post up here. I think we're going to try and get the Instagram going as well, and I'll post updates wherever I can. So please, come along with us, and if you have suggestions, please, leave them. And I really just want to thank everybody again. There was such an outpouring of support, and I can't thank you guys enough. It was so nice to read, about all your memories coming to these cabins, and I just never thought I would reach that many people with, these little videos. And we were just trying to have fun. Like, the YouTube was started as just a passion project between me and a friend. And to see how many of your memories it stoked up, and, the conversations that we can have and how we can learn from each other, it's been really nice in this, honestly, relatively short span from when the video started gaining a lot of views. It's only been probably about a week and a half since we went from 50,000 views to 205,000 views. So thank you again. And please check out, if you can, check out my other videos. Let me know what you think of me, of our style. Is there anything that you guys would like to see, whether it's on the Disney cabin or separately? I am going to try, like I said, to do a more in-depth video on the solar and what I've learned from it, and do a full breakdown. I'll let you know exactly what I bought. But please like, comment, subscribe, and stick on this journey with us. We're going to have a lot of fun, I promise. We got some funny projects that I'm planning for the future, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you. Morning, everybody. So today we're heading out to check out the cabin, sign the papers for it, get the wire instructions and everything for payment. Just had to take care of a couple of early errands. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Got to get my 7-year-old to school. Got to get the 7-month-old packed up. Got to get my wife and mother in the car, and then we're gonna head off. Drop the 7-year-old to school, and right from there go and check out the cabin. So I'll keep you guys posted and see if this all goes smoothly.
Move the garden shed prior. This right behind the cottage, because the cottage has power and everything, so we could piggyback this off of the cottage. Makes more sense to do it that way. It should be here by the time you guys get here. We'll have a nice long list for Daddy to do.